Welcome to the Spooky Dooky Podcast, the only horror podcast for you social outcasts. Hosted by us, I'm Derek.
I'm Mike.
And we just seen Man.
Yes, we did.
It was a movie.
What a great description. We saw a lot of promotion for this movie for at least 6 months. I think since December, because we've been watching movies in theaters almost religiously for the podcast to review things that are newer. And man, Derek got sick of these promotions.
I am so happy that I saw this movie because I don't have to see this trailer ever again in my life.
You'll just see the ads for it when it goes on Blu-ray on YouTube.
I hope not. I hope they I hope they spent all their advertisement money before this movie came out.
I wonder what it did in the box office.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make its money back. First off, spoilers. It's going to be spoilers in this review. Just letting everybody know.
I saw a fake spoiler that tricked me, and my friend explained to me how I got tricked because I was watching that movie, and I was looking. I couldn't go to this weekend. I had to see it yesterday, Monday. I couldn't see it, so I was trying to get it done before Monday because I had no one to go with and whatever. And then like the two closest theaters weren't showing it, so I was trying to watch it online, trying to find it, and I was looking through Reddit, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers at all costs. And I look at the Google page for Ma, and it says it's like a little blurb about it in the Reddit post. I didn't click on the Reddit post, like it's still Google, and it says this. The biggest spoiler in this movie is she takes a shit in all their drinks. And I'm like, fuck, that's really, really creative and good. And I wish I didn't see that. And the whole movie, I'm watching them take the drinks like, oh, man, they're drinking shit. And then after I'm done watching the movie, I'm like, hey, you know what's weird, guys? I saw a spoiler for this movie, and they said they were drinking shit. Did they ever say that? And they're like, no, dude, that's a reference to Octavia Spencer's other movie, The Help, where she shit in the pies. I was like, fuck. Damn. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get it spoiled, but I think I actually would have liked that in the movie.
That's funny. Do you think the trailer ruined this movie for you? As far as like,
I complain about this all the time about trailers showing too much, and this definitely showed beyond too much.
Yeah.
So like, I know I'm like one of those people who will say it all the time. That's one of my gripes, but this is beyond. Like they showed the climax in the trailer. They
show everything. Everything. The whole end of the movie they showed.
Yeah, that's disappointing because because the whole movie is basically just 15 minutes in the end. That was all that's worth it, and they ruined it.
And I think they did that because they really couldn't show anything else in the trailer, or else nobody would go see it.
Yeah. I think it had like 3 or 4 jump scares. It's not really a jump scary movie, and that's why they got me, every single one of them. I was surprised. It was just simple ones too. Like she banged on the window and said, "You forgot your change. I'm not a thug."
Oh, the one that scared me is when they threw the cup at the window.
Oh, the loser. Holy shit! So that's 2 for 2 for me. And then I don't remember the other 2. I think the one in the trailer, I forgot about it and then saw it again when the daughter was in the doorway. Mm. And then there was like one more, and I was surprised. Like jump scares don't get me. I think it's because you don't really expect it in this movie. There was not a lot of horror. It felt more like someone said it seemed like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Someone also said that it was like a hybrid between Carrie and Misery. That's too big of a compliment, but I get what they're saying.
I don't think I know. Yeah, I've never seen Misery.
Misery is where the Stephen King novel movie once he. So you know the plot.
I just don't get the connection
between Misery and this.
Yeah.
I guess keeping you kind of like are obsessed with this person or people, and you keep them in your house locked up, and you torture them psychologically and then physically.
You're talking about what? Andy's father. I forgot his name.
That. Ben. And I guess just in general of the kids got stuck there eventually.
Oh, got you. I don't know why I just ignored the whole plot of the movie right there.
I like surprisingly a lot of the characters.
Yeah. Andy, the Maggie's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Looked like a fetus.
He also looked and acted like he wasn't an actor, like an actual kid that was like just not that social. Like it was weird. Like his facial expressions really had me like, this kid looks like he was taken in off the street and put in this
Right.
movie, which I kind of liked. No, he's not
Yeah,
a
I
good
like how
actor by
they
any means.
hire
He's a
actual
good kid.
teenagers. Yeah, because even a black kid, Daryl, he look super young. Is it Daryl or Darrell? It's probably Darrell.
I think it's Darrell.
Yeah, he is actually 19 in real life, and so is Andy. I had to look up the actress who played Haley, McKaylee Miller, because I thought she was very attractive, but I had to like look up her age to make sure I'm allowed to say that. And she's 22.
Okay.
Yes.
See, it's scary about those things. You'll have preconceived thoughts, and you're like, wait. This is why I always say I wish that people had their age above their head, like The Sims, like floating. Like some people look older than their age. Like you don't want to be thinking that, but luckily you're safe.
So the movie starts off with Maggie and Erica moving into their new house or whatever, because I guess Erica wanted to move to Cali for, I guess, to be an actor or actress, whatever. I don't know. And she moved in with her husband, and I guess they got a divorce. So she goes back to her hometown. I don't know what is, where they stay at?
I don't remember.
Okay. So yeah, they moved back to her hometown where she went to high school with or whatever. And Maggie goes to that new high school. So anyways, Maggie goes to school. She's the new student, and she meets this girl in a wheelchair. Did you know who she was as soon as you saw her?
No.
Like, did you guess?
No.
I did. I knew that was going to be Ma's daughter, because she seemed so out of place with her hair, the way her hair was. I'm just like, why is her hair like that? Like, why? And then the whole time that scene was bothering me. I'm just like, why did they add this scene there of her meeting this girl in a wheelchair and having a girl in a wheelchair say that she was nice for helping her? Like, come on now.
I thought it was for comedic relief because the girl said, you're a saver. And she's like, you too.
I mean, that line's for comedic relief, but that whole scene was pretty much pointless if it didn't come around, like back around towards the end of the movie. So I automatically knew that it was Ma's daughter.
The character development in this movie was way too fast. I mean, I get it. It's like, they went straight up to Maggie. The coolest kids in school went up to Maggie when she moved here as a newest kid and adopted her right away. Like, that's great. If that was real life, I'd be so, like, that's so great for, like, a new student. I wish life was like that, but it's not. Yeah,
I mean, I was going to say it was like that for me, but I don't want to sound like a pompous asshole. But anyways, that's the thing about that scene I didn't like the most. So Maggie's eating lunch by herself. And all the cool kids come in, and Haley grabs her phone and puts her phone number in the phone. And like, I'm pretty sure everybody has a passcode to get into their phones. I don't know how she did that. Like, you got a passcode?
People don't. I do, but most people, I mean, not most people, some people don't.
I don't know anybody who doesn't. Even my mother.
I do.
That's weird. Yeah, so she puts her number in her phone just so that, because they're trying to convince Maggie to go to a party with them. Yeah. They were going to go to a party, but she was like, "No, I have to go to some music show, music festival. Yeah, music festival with her mom. Music show sound too cool. It was music festival. So yeah, and they was like, oh, whatever. But since Erica's new to the place, her mother's Erica, by the way. Since Erica's new to the place, she had to work the shift or cover somebody's shift or whatever. Yeah. So she missed the music festival. So Maggie had nothing else to do. So she texts Haley, was like, "Hey, yo, chick, I ain't got no plans no more." So they come over there and pick her up, and the party got canceled. So they decide to go get drinks and smoke reefer at some construction site. To look like, I forget what they call it.
The Rocks or something.
Yeah, it's not really important.
Something just really uncreative. Yeah.
And since they're all underage, they're all in this van together. Andy's dad he owns a security company. and I guess Andy drives one of the vans around, and they're all in a van together, and they have the black kid out there asking people to buy alcohol for them, but nobody wants to do it. So then he gives up because he says this town is racist, which was a funny line. And they send Maggie out there, and Maggie sees Ma, and they goat her into asking Ma to buy them alcohol. And she said no, but then for some reason she looks at the van and sees the name on the van of who owns the security company. And she only looks at that because that's when Andy comes out the car. Then she looks at the name because I guess he looks familiar to her. And she saw the name and she's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. So she decides to buy them alcohol. And yeah, she buys them alcohol.
And then it goes in between days where she starts stalking all of them on Facebook and whatever, and
how?
seeing. What do you mean how?
How did she find? That's how I didn't understand. Okay, so
she found out the names.
Yeah,
like
so I know she found Andy, right? Because she knew Andy's last name because of the security truck, and so that means she would be able to find all his friends too because they're friends with him. But how did she find Maggie? Like,
why wouldn't they be on
because
Facebook friends?
They met each other literally the day before.
Dude, people move fast with following people. I don't know. People are so into. I think that's how it happened. That she was friends with Andy on Facebook, and then she searched for Maggie, and then she's like, "Oh, I wonder who Maggie is." Then she sees, oh, that's her mother. So, I get what you're saying. It could be a plot hole, but I don't think it is.
Where were we? Okay, yes.
So she was stalking them. She works for a vet, and you can see that she's still spoiler. She's still talked to like shit, as in that's like foreshadowing of when she was in high school when she was treated like shit, which they get into later in the movie of why that's her ulterior motives. But for now, she's searching these kids, whatever, and then she finds them again, looking for alcohol, and then she does it again for them, and then says, hey, I don't want you kids driving around. You want to just use my basement that's like all beat up and shit? And they're like, well, I guess it's better than nothing. And they're like, wow, this could have a lot of promise here. And then this kid, Chaz, the jock of the group, which I think is supposed to be comedic relief, but I thought he was not funny at all. So he gets into Sue Ann, which is her actual name's face, until Darrell calls her Ma. He's like, hey, you got any pizza rolls, Ma? And of course, that's how it goes. And Chaz gets in her face and says, like, yo, this could be a really cool basement. And she's like, yeah, if I win the lottery. She's like, what, are you not cool? And it goes into her insecurities of, she has a little flashback of when she was in school, when she was shy and an introvert, and, she wanted to be accepted so bad. So Chaz gets in her face, and she's like, you want to see something cool? He's like, yeah. She pulls a gun on him and makes him strip naked. And they're all like, what the fuck? And she's like, psych, there's not even a real gun, or there's no bullets in here. Got you. And he's like, you really got me, Ma. And that's when they should have ran and never came back. Well, I guess they keep partying at Ma's house, and then kids from the high school keep coming over like, yo, this lady's chill. Like, she's like, parties with us. And Ma redoes her basement, dresses up for the occasion, and like just starts partying with them. Well, she says, don't go upstairs. But them being dumb teens not listening, for some reason that girl always has to pee, the hot one,
Haley.
Yeah, and they go upstairs, and Maggie heard banging upstairs, and she's like, we gotta go, like, no, like, we gotta go. And then they don't flush the toilet because they don't want her to hear, and they walk right out of the bathroom, and Ma like push them against the wall like, you motherfuckers, what are you doing? And they run away.
But yeah, Maggie, she hears banging and Ma yelling at somebody. Did you figure out by then who she was yelling at?
Nope. All they also showed was she kept stealing, I guess, diazepam or whatever, which was like some sort of tranquilizer, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Eventually, Maggie tells Andy, I don't want to go there anymore. And he's like, well, it's the coolest spot in town. What? She's like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm missing my earrings. Like she's giving me a weird vibe. I don't want to talk about it.
Wait,
and Annie agrees.
she wasn't missing her earring yet.
Okay.
Because they go there a couple times, and then like the time she do loses her earrings, I forget what she did to make Ma mad, but Ma puts, I guess, something in her drink, maybe? Because she took 2 shots. That second shot.
Diazepam, probably.
Yes, that second shot made her pass out, and she woke up in her house. She didn't know how she got there. I mean, in her own house. Maggie woke up in her own house. She didn't know how she got there, and she noticed her earrings were missing. And that's when she was freaked out and didn't want to be there anymore. Also, this is all over the place because I don't remember when it happened, but
exactly, like I'm trying so hard to find a timeline in this, and like we're usually pretty good with that, but everything doesn't seem like that important to be in a timeline. It's kind of just like, I don't know.
But yeah, because I remember Maggie telling not Maggie, Haley told Ma that she needs to get a man, and that made Ma very angry.
They also noticed that she had jewelry from their other classmate.
Right. Well, wait, they didn't notice that yet. So they all wanted to stay away from Ma because she was weird. And Ma left all these messages or whatever. And they were all ignoring them because they all blocked her except for Maggie because Maggie felt bad for her. But then she looked at this one message and Ma was crying on the camera saying that she needs to tell everybody something and it's an emergency or whatever. And they go to her and she tells them that she has cancer. And she goes to hug Andy. And when she hugs Andy, you see her sleeve rolls back and you see the bracelet that one of their friends has. And that's when Haley saw it and she tells Maggie that she saw the bracelet. So they all, well, not all of them, Haley and Maggie rush to Ma's house.
Also, Haley was like, I'm missing my ring.
Right. They were all family heirlooms for some reason, except for that bracelet, I think.
That was a 5-month anniversary.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, they, Haley and Maggie goes to Ma's house while Ma's like driving there. I'm confused though. How did he get there so fast? Maybe she went to work and came back.
She went to work, and that's when a couple of them parents came in. Where what's the mom's name?
Erica.
Erica came there to drop off a
cat. No, their dog. Their dog. And then Ben came to drop off his cat or something. Yeah.
And then he's like, yo, we should catch up sometime.
Right. And I thought it was really weird. I'm like, why is he so nice? But
yeah, I didn't expect that. It swerved me.
It swerved me a little bit, but then I remember the
bar scene
in the trailer. Yeah. The trailer just ruined everything. Because if that was in the trailer, that would have threw me all the way off. Yeah. But yeah, so Maggie and Haley are looking through the house or whatever, looking for the jewelry. I don't even think they ever find it.
They don't.
But they see in Ma's room, she has pictures of all the kids. And then on the opposite side of those pictures is pictures of their parents. And while they're snooping around, they run into Ma's daughter, the girl in a wheelchair by the name of Jeannie. And she's not in a wheelchair anymore. She's walking around. And Maggie was like, whoa, aren't you supposed to be in a wheelchair? And she was like, no, my mother doesn't like me walking or some weird shit. But yeah. But Jeannie was very nice to them. Haley thought she was still weird, though. And Jeannie said that she won't tell her mom that they were there if she doesn't tell them that she saw them or whatever. But
you got to also mention the upstairs is gated and locked.
Yeah. Is that so? Jeannie want to get down?
Yeah, I guess so.
But she could. Okay. Okay, but that's so weird.
Then Ma comes home and notices that 2 of their cat statues have been rearranged because they were stupid enough to touch them. Fucking idiots.
Right.
She's like, Jeannie, have you been down there? She's like, it's been moved. And they sneak out the back when Ma's not looking and run like hell. And Ma starts preparing to go see Ben at the bar, and she doesn't realize what's happening. Ben's like, "Yeah, great to see you. Oh yeah. You know what this is?" And she's like, "A taser? You're gonna tase me?" It's like, "No, this is a tracking device. I put him in all my vans, and my son has been on your property. Why the hell has he been on your property lately?"
And that was so crazy when he said it, because the trailer ruined it because they set it up so perfectly. Like,
yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, I guess
she's like, I don't know what to say. You could talk to him. She's like, no, I'm talking to you right now. It got really intense.
Yeah, he was very confrontational.
And he's like, yo, next time I see my boy on your property, I'm not calling the cops. I'll deal with it myself. And he storms out.
Yeah.
So then Ma, which I laughed at this part, which wasn't supposed to be funny, I guess. She's back in the vet's office, and she's on Google looking up how to take the tracker off the van.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you remember why Mom went to Maggie's house?
To just follow up about their dog. But it was secretly, I guess, to get that dog blood for later.
Oh, yeah, the dog was bleeding. I didn't even put two and two together. That's crazy. Yeah, so Maggie gets home and she hears a familiar voice and she tries to sneak in her room. But her mother calls her in there and she sees that it is Sue-Ann, and her mother's trying to introduce Sue-Ann to Maggie, but her mother didn't know that Maggie already knew Sue-Ann.
Another part that they ruined in the trailer. That'd been sick. So then Ben goes to Ma's house and was like, yeah, what'd I tell you? And she like busts in, like gets in her face, and she's like, do you know what this is? And he hits him with the syringe full of, I guess, diazepam, and gets him unconscious, and then puts him upstairs and ties him down in the bed. And this is like the best part of that movie. We see some cock and balls, and she's about to cut off his dick, and she's like, no, I'm good. And then decides to fill him up with dog blood from Maggie's dog, because she always said men are dogs.
At this point, do we know the backstory yet of Ma? Like,
they slowly started doing it, and I think by then it's in the third act, where Ma was traumatized because she thought that Ben liked her as a kid, but they were just playing a cruel prank on her. And the mom, which I keep forgetting her name, Erica was, I think, actually her friend, or they never said if they were actually friends or not. I think
she was.
Yeah, but she didn't. She didn't warn her about the upcoming prank.
Right.
They basically baited her into a janitor's closet with supposed Ben, and what's her name again? Just forgot her name. Erica says, like, yo, this is how you're gonna give him a blowjob. This is how you do it. And she's like, wow, thanks. And she goes to do it, and she walks out all happy. She's like, wow. And she sees Ben and the rest of the school standing there smiling. She's like, what? And out comes this tall nerd, and they're like, is it as good as you thought it was going to be? He's like, hell yeah. And she's like, what the? And starts flipping out, as she should, because she just blew not Ben, a random stranger.
Yeah. I mean, we've all sucked the wrong dick once in a while, you know? It just happens. You don't go around killing the kids.
I don't even know what to say back to that. Anyway, so that's what really, she was already insecure and wanting acceptance, and they played a cruel ass prank on her that scarred her for life, and she was living with it. And you could see in the vet's office that she was always still like bullied around by the vet, which then later, when she starts going on her killing spree when she got Ben, she just killed the vet and put her in a cage.
Well, before she killed Ben and the vet, she killed Mercedes.
Oh yeah. It was so anticlimactic and funny. It's like Mercedes is jogging, and it's like 2 split seconds where she just runs her over. Like it was perfect. Something about that scene is so.
If you want to see it, just watch the trailer.
I didn't even notice that. I don't think.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that out of order. Mercedes, then the vet, Mercedes, then the vet, then Ben, all die, and now Maggie said to Andy, "Don't go back there." Apparently, it was one of his friend's birthdays. Like, what? I couldn't get out of it. Like,
Right.
and he starts trying to drag him out of there. But then, Ma starts kicking everybody out. All the kids. She's like, Chad's like, she just wants to hang out with the OGs, and they all start passing out. Besides Maggie, and Maggie goes to, I think, look upstairs, and she hears what's her name, her daughter, Jeannie, saying help. And
was it Jeannie or was it Ma just described? Yeah, I think it was just Ma.
And then she walks into the room where she's been dead, and then she gets clocked by Ma.
No, she didn't get hit. She got the needle.
Tranquilized. Yeah. Okay. And now this is the climax of the movie, which sucks they ruined. They're all downstairs in the basement, tied by their neck to like nooses, like makeshift nooses, and
it was so cheesy.
How is it cheesy?
I mean, not cheesy, but come on now. They got Chaz get a 3rd-degree burn with an iron. Like, she put the iron on his stomach.
Because his skin was nice.
Yeah, okay. And then
Haley has the gift for Gab because she said that she get a man. She sews her mouth shut.
Right, so she sews her mouth shut. Then you got
Jarrell.
Andy. No. Andy gets stabs in his stomach, right?
But okay, no, that wasn't it. He was on the ground still.
I know. I'm just saying. And then all that happens to Darrell is he gets his face painted white.
And she says there can only be one of us.
I know, but still.
I read a couple of things that she said that he wasn't connected to any of the kids or like from the childhood, so she kind of felt bad for him, like, or empathy a little.
Maybe. Okay.
Think about it. He was always nice to her, never disrespected her, called her Ma. He wasn't a part of the parents' like childhood trauma or whatever. So she's just like, well, you can't be here because I have to be here. You're painted. So I guess he gets psychological trauma.
I guess.
Yeah, that kid was nothing but nice to her. And he kept trying to relate to her like, yo, like they have to go home and study for history. He's like, yo, they're studying about our people on ships. She's like, come on. He was cool.
What about Margaret? I mean, not Margaret, Stephanie.
Okay, that sucked. That was just a collateral thing, which bothers me, actually. She's the only kid who died.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That sucks. That sucks. So this is a girl who's like my favorite character, who is Christian, doesn't want to go home drunk because she doesn't want to get in trouble, so she pretends to drink and pass out on the couch. So throughout the movie, she starts seeing how cool the parties are with Ma, and she starts like waking up. And she's not a part of the OGs, or maybe like one of the first people that wasn't like, I don't know. Either way, she got tied, and she tries to escape, and she gets clocked, I think, by a frying pan.
No, the iron. She used to burn
iron. Okay. Yeah. She doesn't pretend to sleep like Maggie, like made eyeballs. Like, no, don't wake up.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for that character because, like, she's a Christian girl, wasn't trying to drink, wasn't really a part of the stuff, and she's the only kid that dies.
And the iron probably didn't kill her. It was probably the fire.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's messed up.
So they all eventually, Jeannie gets into the basement, and as a cop shows up to the house, and she's like, "Don't make a fucking sound, or I'll slit your throat." Right. And then she hears Maggie making noise to the cop. And Jeannie then pulls up like, oh no, the noise is like, the Ma was like, the noise is my daughter. Saved. You have nothing to worry about. And then the cop hears help, turns around, and Ma shoots him. And she's like, look what you made me do, Jeannie. You made me kill this man. And putting psychological torture on her own daughter. And they pull him inside. And
what's that called? When you keep telling your kid is sick. It wasn't It Too, the remake. Yeah.
I was talking to my friends right after the movie. There was actually a story that happened. There was like, it's a real thing that people do to their kids. And it was in It with the placebos. I don't know what it's called though. Either way, that child was not actually sick, just getting drugged and tranquilized to not be able to walk and being socially taken away from her school. So she could only be Ma's. And eventually Jeannie saw how crazy her mom was because, you know, she wasn't happy. She wanted to go back to school, and Ma was like getting really, really weird and distant. I don't know what the relationship was before that. Like if it was probably abusive. So Jeannie goes down to the basement as Maggie is being hung, and they all start waking. All of them were falling, they were asleep, still passed out on the couch. Ma took a picture with them. With Maggie took the picture. She's like, "You're not being in it," because I guess she
Right.
wanted to be the mom, so she took the place as Maggie in the friend
Yeah.
group. And she then tries to hang Maggie, and then Jeannie comes from behind and hits her mom. Right?
Yes. Well, no.
First, what's his name?
She screams up. She screams upstairs. Well, Jeannie's upstairs. She's screaming. She was like, "Ma, the police officer is moving. He's getting up." And Mom runs upstairs, and then that's when Jeannie smacks her over the head with something. I don't know, but it ended up causing a fire somehow. I don't know.
I don't think that caused the fire.
Something caused the fire because when she fell down the stairs, the flames started going down the stairs, and
She must have knocked over something.
Yeah, because Jeannie, she ended up closing the door, and because the fire was happening, and she hears Maggie screaming for help, and that's when Jeannie decides to go down there and help them. And instead of just going back up the stairs, they all try to go outside through the basement door thing, like the cellar door through the outside.
I mean, because Ma is passed out on the steps. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. We forgot to say that. I mean, we hinted that before that what's his name got stabbed. Andy before that got stabbed because Andy's like, "Yo, it's okay, Ma, I love you." Because and then she's like, "Fucking liar," and stabs him.
Yeah,
he got the worst of it. Well, second worst.
Who got the worst?
The girl who died.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all finally, thank God, escaped thanks to the mom and her coworker finding them.
Yeah.
Because before that, the mom told Ma to piss off, and she didn't. And she figured because Maggie went missing that night.
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, I know where she is. Come help me." To the coworker. The coworker go up there, and they left him out of the basement as it's on fire. And it comes to a climax, though, of Ma's holding Jeannie back, and they don't want to leave her behind. So Maggie jumps for the knife and then stabs Ma as she's dragging Jeannie towards the fire. And she's like, "I'm not weak like my mom."
Yeah.
Which apparently she said that earlier. And they all go the hell upstairs, and Ma's like, "Well, I guess I'm just going to stay in my house while it's on fire."
That was so cheesy.
Yeah, I didn't like that part. The ending, I didn't like that part. She goes upstairs and cuddles with her crush, Ben, as on fire.
She got stabbed in the back.
Yeah, and she didn't even react. She just starts walking around. And before she goes upstairs to hug Ben as it's on fire, she does stare out the window at them and freaks them all out. And I really hope I didn't notice the girl who got hit by the frying pan or whatever. Like, I really hope she escaped, but I did not see her escape. That sucks. Did they just assume she was dead?
I don't know.
Yo, Annie got stabbed and is still alive. I really hope they dragged her body. I want to go rewatch it just for that minute, because that's what I thought of. Like, yo, wait. No, everyone isn't here. Sucks for Annie. Lost his dad. I didn't think any of the kids were going to die. And they killed one.
Chaz seemed like the stereotypical dude who would die.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't think they were going to go with the kids dying. And if they were going to do it, I thought it would be like somehow like Maggie sacrificing herself or something, not the random Christian girl who is like a pretend narcoleptic person. That sucks. But that was Ma. I guess we're reviewing it now. This is a weird podcast because we went all over the place, and I'm just like all disoriented. I hope that everybody is not as well, because we were skipping around between timelines, because this movie really isn't memorable of when the scenes were. Just things just happens, and they're really not that exciting or shocking to really sit with you when it was to put it in chronological order, or maybe we're just bad at it. Either way, what Spooky or Dooky?
Oh, we're going straight to that. Dooky?
I mean, what's left? We did the whole movie. That's Ma.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I give it a Dooky.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your grape?
I I've seen this all before, and I've seen it better, done better. Just it's a Revenge of the Nerds type movie. It's just it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either.
That's why most people are split between it being a 5 or a 6.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's still an F.
I liked it, and I'm going to give it a Spooky, even though I don't think it's that quality of a film, and they ruined most of it in the trailers, like I say every other video. But it kept my attention. Octavia Spencer, she was great. She was
great. Really good in this movie.
She was fucking amazing. I didn't think that she would pull off this character. She made me feel weird, made me feel like she was a real person.
She made me feel for it too. But
exactly, that's the thing. What was cool about this movie? Well, I guess they've done this before, like you said. Sympathetic character, but is kind of deranged. You don't know where to side with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it kind of left me a little empty because everything was seen in the trailer. So I think I would have actually, I rated it a 7 just on my Instagram story. It might have been higher if they did not take the climax and put it in the trailer. Because those 10 minutes could have been really good.
I don't know. I give my Spooky or Dooky rating based off if I would recommend this movie, and I don't.
I would, because I brought my friends who don't like horror with me, and they're like, well, it wasn't great, but yeah, it was entertaining. It's missing a lot from a horror perspective. There was only 3 or 4 jump scares, not a lot of kills. I thought it would be a little creepier too. I think it's an okay movie, and that's why I would recommend it, because I don't think there's anything bad about it. I would watch it again, but not after that, no. Because then it's just because I would rewatch it to reanalyze some things, But I don't know. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means. It's not good. They wasted all of the stuff in the trailer. They advertised the shit out of it. I'm curious to see how it will do in the box office with getting this pretty split reviews of, it's either people hated it or really liked it. I didn't either. I'm split in the middle, but I'm going to give it the Spooky because I don't think it's a bad film. I just think that they could have done a lot more to make this movie a lot better. And yeah, I don't know. I think that the most we got out of this movie is the "Don't make me drink alone." That phrase is so funny to repeat over and over again and put in memes.
I was trying so hard to think of a good meme of Ma outside the bank saying, "Don't make me take a loan." But I couldn't think of it.
After the movie, we went to get ice cream, and there was this place called Nana's thrift store, and I said, "Don't make me thrift alone." I just kept doing that, and then I went to Moe's and I said, "Don't make me eat alone." I just kept doing that shit. It's a funny meme. I wish they. Oh my God. I don't know. I think
you posted on Instagram was so funny, where it's my depression saying this, my anxiety saying this, and then it's Ma saying, "Don't make me drink alone." And
I was getting to that too. So it's definitely. It should have been a Netflix or a Lifetime movie, but I did enjoy it. It's not that quality of movie, but tell us what you think. If you went and saw it, tweet us or comment if you liked it. If you didn't, I think there should have been more shitting and drinks, but that's just me. This has been the Spooky Dooky Podcast.
Something negative to tell us that it's wrong, can you please keep it in one tweet instead of multiple tweets? Thank you. It's hard to read for me.
That's him. I'll read your multiple tweets. Okay, anyway, this has been the Spooky Dooky Podcast. I'm Mike.
Derek.
Keep it spooky.